Hey everybody. I get a lot of friends and family and people call and ask me what the best way is to attach stuff to a drywall wall. Like you want to hang a little shelf for just some little knickknacks or a plaque or a picture or something like that. So I'm going to give a couple of easy ways, a little instruction. I did a little mock-up here to show you what your wall looks like behind the wall so you know what you're dealing with. I'm gonna show you the kind of anchors that I like to use, that I prefer to use for light stuff like this. This is not for really heavy stuff. This is not for mounting a TV or a pull-up bar where you're gonna be doing chin-ups or anything like this. This is for like a little shelf where you're gonna put a picture or hanging pictures, little plaques, stuff like that. So right here, now I'm not technically savvy enough to get a different app for my phone that I can switch the screen, so I'm going to have to guess here and kind of flip it around, so bear with me a little bit. But right here, I made a little mock-up of just a drywall wall, right? And behind it, what you see, sometimes you have a wood stud and sometimes you have metal studs, right? So that's what the back of your wall looks like. And when you're doing a picture or something like that, or a little shelf, it's not that critical that you get into the studs because it's not a lot of weight. And what you really want to do is you want to get your position, wherever you want it, aesthetically. So I'm going to put this down where you can see the wall. And now if whatever you're hanging, say you're hanging this little bracket, this little hook, right? If that happens to fall right where you have a stud, great. All you have to do is you put it up, maybe mark it with a pencil, and then if you run your screw in and you feel a little bit of resistance, but it goes in and it holds, back it out. And then you try this, and if it locks down tight like that, and it's stiff, you hit a wood stud, or a metal stud, and then if you hit the wood stud, you put the other screw in here, and you're done, right? That's all you need to do. If you're hanging a picture, you can put the screw in and just not quite bury it, and then you can hang your picture on there. That's all you need to do if you hit a stud. If you hit a metal stud, say we mark our picture over here, and you hit a metal stud, you're going to get different resistance. You're going to feel like the screw won't go in anywhere. All you have to do there is keep it going a little bit and push, and eventually the point is just going to cut through that middle. And then, same thing. You can leave it out a little bit and hang your picture on it, or you can pull it out and put your bracket in. But if you hit a stud, that's all you need to do. Most times, because you only have these little spots of studs, most times you're going to want your picture over here, in between. And when you mark that, and you screw, you're going to feel no resistance, and then when it gets all the way in, it's just going to spin and spin and spin. So you know you haven't hit anything there. If you just leave that screw in there like that, it's just going to fall out at some point. So these are my favorite anchors. Right? They look like oversized screws, and not to pump any name brands or anything, but Easy Anchor is the name, and they have different brands of the same things. But they look like oversized screws, and in here they have a Phillips head and a hole. So what you do is you take your Phillips head, anything I'm doing here with the screw gun, you can pretty much do with a hand screwdriver, but why? You can do it with a low-powered drill with an electric screwdriver. If you have the option to use power, use power. So where our screw went in, but was just turning and turning and turning and not doing anything, we're now going to put our Easy Anchor in, and we're going to let that go in, and that now gives us a nice solid place to put our screw. And you can see on the back side of the wall, it comes through and it kind of grabs. right? Because it's a wider thread. So then when we put our screw in there, our screw has something to hold it to. And now it feels more like it's into a stud. On the back, you can see that easy anchor separated a little bit. It's made to do that so that when the screw goes in, it separates out and doesn't pull out as much. So now, you can take your hanger or your bracket or whatever you want, and when you put it in there, it locks in nice and tight. You can hear from my screw gun that it's really grabbing there. If I just put another screw below that, it'll just spin and spin and spin and spin, and that's not what you want. So that's that. One other thing is when people want to put a plaque up there or a sign or something, and you've got to screw through this, or maybe this is a bracket. So for that, you just take, I'm not going to try to get too fancy with the camera work. I'm just going to put my screws in my bracket, and I just start my screws in my bracket or my board that you're going to mount something to, and I'm just going to hold that up to my wall. Let me take this out of here. Whoever built this mock-up wall didn't do a good job of anchoring it. Okay, so I'm going to hold that in place wherever I want. You measure it, you level it, you get it where you want, and you're just going to put your two screws into the drywall. Sounds like it's solid, but the only reason it's locking down is because the plywood is holding it. Really, I could just pull this off of the drywall very easily. When you put it where you want it, mark the drywall and make a little mark on the board and on the drywall, and you can put tape on here if it's already painted, if the wall's already painted. And you make a little mark and a line. That way it's easy to line it back up later. You take your screws out a little bit, and you take your piece off the wall. And then you take two of your easy anchors and just put them in the holes that you just set. Now you take that little mark that you made, and line it up with the marks on the wall or on the tape, and that way you know your screws are going to line up with your anchors. Now you're locked in, and you can use that. If it's a plaque by itself, it's finished. If it's something that you're going to mount something to, right, you've got a nice solid base and it's connected. So there's a couple of ways to just put lightweight stuff up to walls, and I hope this helps. And next time you need something like this done, hopefully you don't have to call me for this kind. There is another couple of situations, like if you have a block wall, it's a little not quite as deep, so the easy anchors sometimes hit, and but that's getting into like level 2.0, and maybe I'll do another video on that if I am working on a job and I just happen to be up against a block wall, because I love you guys and I want to help, but I don't want to actually build a block wall in my shop here just to do a demonstration. So next time I'm on a job and I run into that situation, I'll do another video on how to handle it if you hit a block wall. And until then, good luck with your home projects, and I hope I'll see you real soon.